previous speech was the most effective posture and placement of the speaker, but I also think that Jose and Max did a good job too, all right? Axel, where you're standing right now is kind of hidden from me, so try to make a nice little change. You're perfect where you're at. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
All right, so I want to start today by asking, how's everyone feeling today? Considering, finals are in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if you guys have started your study schedules yet, studied at all, you check your grades. Considering also, maybe you're nervous about this speech because you're gonna speak today. And I'm not sure if you know, but you can also fail actually if you come up here right now. Okay, sorry. But this is the type of stress people can feel not just in class, but all the time, at home when you're supposed to be relaxing. And this is what a lot of students going through anxiety and depression, often in silence, will feel. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So as college students ourselves, and as you may know, college is something where we have to all go through a bunch of different types of changing expectations. We have to navigate through all these. And sometimes all these things can pile up and make you feel like you want to give up. And we know it's a common feeling. So we're here to help you with that today. So by the end of this speech, we hope that you will be convinced that mental health should be destigmatized and that you implement our ideas into your lives. So first we'll be going into the huge problem that is students not talking about their mental health because they find it as a hard subject. Then we'll go into how you can help, not only just help yourself, but help others. And finally, you'll see how getting a better understanding of yourself and your peers will help us build a better future. Okay, so let's get into it. The problem. Now, what is the problem? Well, the problem is that college students with so many things going on in their adult lives will often go undiagnosed with some type of mental illness because they find the stigmas of judgment too strong. They are fearful of the reputation. They think some people are gonna make fun of them. And this combined with stressful environments that students are usually put in makes them prone to develop mental illness. Now, I'm sure you've all felt overwhelmed or you've worried about your grades or maybe a big event like a final, a speech, an interview. And the reason is because a lot of people are afraid of failing. And all this type of stuff can add up, and eventually, as according to the Healthy Minds Network, we can see that 44% of students had symptoms of depression, and 37% of students had symptoms of anxiety. And this was a study conducted in universities across the nation, including a sample at Cal Poly. Now, this was only 96,000 participating students out of the 15.6 million undergraduates in the United States. That is a severe underrepresentation of what could be happening. There are many people who are not being talked about. Now, anxiety and depression are not things we should just ignore. These can eventually snowball into complications like insomnia, eating disorders, and in worst case scenario, suicide. Now, these things will affect people's academics. They will start to harm them. They start to harm their personal lives. And it's something that eventually could lead to major changes. There was a study done by the Gallup Foundation that found that undergraduates in our age group were 64% considered dropping out due to stress, just emotional stress. They wanted to drop out and be done with it all. And that's the big thing. This affects normal people, or what seems like normal people, everyday people just like you and me. Our age group, from 18 to 22, are the ones who are most affected by it. And whenever you feel stuck, whenever you feel overloaded, it can get worse if you don't talk to someone. And listen, I'm sorry to say, but the worst of it is that 15% of students in the earlier I mentioned in that Healthy Mind Network study considered suicide. And double that, as you can see, actually hurt themselves in some way. This is way more common than when we think. And again, this was severely underrepresented. So this is something we need to take into account for any person to talk about. This could be you, be your friend, or someone random you don't even know about. And one day they could just not come back. But it's not all bad. There are solutions to this, which my partner Axel will be elaborating on.
Okay, so what are these solutions? Well, don't worry, because because they're very easy. So to start off, there's self-care, there's spreading the word, there's counseling here on campus, and there's our organization NAMI. NAMI is a nonprofit organization that works with high schoolers and college students to better educate them on their mental health. So, and ways to support NAMI would be by joining NAMI yourself, or also by donating. So doing these helps because speaking about your mental health will help you realize like the mental state that you're in and will make you want to fix it. And then seeing improvement on yourself will also make you want to encourage others around you, like friends, to also improve their mental health. Also, working with NAMI helps because the organization helps college students like us see the negative side effects of having a bad mental health habit. So how do we implement these in our lives? So to start off with self-care, it'll be as simple as taking breaks. If you're doing homework and you're stressed about it, take a 5-minute break, take a 10-minute break, put a timer on your phone, and just don't do anything for like 10 minutes or so. You can also check in with friends by texting them, calling them, seeing how their day was. Maybe text someone from high school, see how's life. Also on campus, we have our own counseling services that have an easy step-by-step process to book an appointment. Also on campus, there's clubs. There's different types of clubs that are stress-related and also related to mental health. Lastly, also joining NAMI will of course help because NAMI comes to our campus as a club and will educate, in this case, us Cal Poly students on mental health. Also, donating helps because it'll ensure the best education for us and for the teachers that are part of the club. Now that I've gone over these 5 steps, my partner Jonathan will go over the future effects of these different solutions.
Hi everyone, let me just get into the reality real quick. According to a Healthy Mind study, 44% of college students experience symptoms of depression while 37% experience anxiety. Now, without treatment, these symptoms don't just go away. In fact, it starts to snowball and thus intensify. Let me give you a real situation that many Cal Poly students are going through right now as I speak before Thanksgiving break. They get a text, they get a phone call, a situation happens, and because of that, they become very anxious, nervous, depressed, maybe even suicidal, and decide, hey, I'm not gonna go to class today, I'm gonna take the day for myself. That's all right. However, one day turns to 2 to 3, 3 to 4, now they're just not going to class anymore. And without realizing, they're slowly withdrawing themselves from their friends and family. And lastly, they're not doing their homework anymore. They're not going to class, they're not communicating with their friends and family, they're not doing their homework. Ultimately, students in this position are dug in a hole and they can't pull themselves out because of their depression and anxiety. And in the end, they end up failing a semester. And as a lot of you can imagine, failing a semester is horrible for your degree progress. And in situations for Cal Poly Pomona, the school might even kick you out for failing a semester. Now, this sounds pretty bad, but it's not even worst case scenario. So let me tell you worst case scenario. According to the National College Health Assessment, 1 in 5 college students have seriously considered suicide in the past year alone. Now, guys, listen, students' lives are seriously being cut short because the stigma surrounding mental health is so strong that they rather sit alone in silence than reach out and get help because how taboo the subject is. And realistically, guys, I know most of you probably won't donate, but let me give you another example that might encourage you. According to the Gallup study, students who have access to mental health resources are far more successful, according to the Gallup study, students who have access to the mental health resources are far more likely to stay in school, graduate on time, and excel both personally and academically. So, as I mentioned before, I know most of you can't donate, you have your reasons, you have purposes, but there's still things you could do to further NAMI on campus's goal of providing mental health awareness and destigmatizing mental health. So on screen, my partners Diego and Axel are gonna pass out a pledge we made. And it's very simple. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it truly is a lot. So it's gonna be as simple as taking a 10-minute break for yourself, or just texting your friend being, hey, how are you doing? If you need help, I'm here for you. You can call me. If I can't call you back immediately, I can call you back later. All right? And lastly, I just want to tell you guys, I'm not telling you the statistics just to give you statistics. As I mentioned earlier, these are real people. It could be someone in this class right now, it could be someone you're sitting next to, a loved one, a friend, a family member, someone in the hallway, just someone random. It doesn't matter. The point is, these aren't numbers, these are real people. So guys, by signing this pledge, you're taking a commitment and you're taking a first step forward and saying, I choose to make a difference. We've seen how mental health can impact a college student and how NAMI on campus can help. But together, we can ensure no one has to face these challenges alone and endure the stigma. Guys, please take that pledge, take that step, and let's make this difference together.
Thank you so much. 1, 2, 3.